Well, good evening, Rebecca, and anybody else that's hiding in the background. Start this off with a nice cough. There are only 5 people here, so put up with that. Well, it's been an interesting day so far. Watching the news and also a little battle that is brewing on YouTube Town. It seems to be that somebody doesn't like to be criticized. I'm going to pull up what I was sent. I find it rather interesting that these people can dish it out, but they can't take it. And that apparently is the case with a guy by the name of Juan Saban. So I bring up. And this is supposed to be the world famous JFK Jr., if I read all this right. And now these people on this side of the fence, the Juan side, the Tim Homeseth side, and all this, they're always screaming First Amendment, right to free speech, right to free speech. And what happens? People like JFK Jr. run around doing YouTube strikes. Now I'm going down through here. Apparently someone put up a 2-hour video using several public sources that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Juan Saban, I guess his name is not JFK Jr. Also that he was in cahoots with Doug Hagman, who the person describes as a very shady character. It is claimed by this individual that Doug Hagman does not have a lawsuit against Daniel Lee. And I think, there is a filing. I don't know if this is the same lawsuit or not. But at any rate, this JFK Jr. dude went on a copyright strike rampage and got the channel taken down. And I find this rather strange. Well, of course JFK Jr.'s dead. This clown is going around saying he's JFK Jr. and then he uses his legal person name or whatever the hell. It's kind of interesting because he's a sovereign. But they go around and they strike people. I think even Northwest Liberty got hit with a strike for privacy concerns. And I just find it kind of weird that these right to privacy advocates, or not right to privacy, but free speech advocates are running around doing YouTube strikes. Because that goes against this grain of, right to free speech. And this Juan character is a Tim Homeseth supporters. And of course, in the last half an hour, after not hearing from him, Tim Homeseth puts up a thing. He's after Craig Sawyer again. Dark web contributor. And of course, he's after Alex Jones, which I agree with anybody going after Alex Jones. And this is the Turd Command put this video up. So the Turd Command is going about their deal. And I'm just going to check. And the Turd Command put up this hybrids, half human, half animal, being secretly buried. Again, spreading dangerous misinformation about the coronavirus, which, it is what it is. These people are going to spread this stupid stuff. And, of course, they got their own little hive of idiots that believe this. But, but what I find curious is this JFK Jr. character doesn't like being exposed. And so he runs around doing everything he can to shut people up. And this is the same stunt, of course, that was tried with Field McConnell. Um, the people from Field McConnell decided that they were going to run around and they were going to um, do copyright strikes, and that didn't work. The news still is getting out there. So, the Turd Command can try all they want, but they're not going to succeed. Information has a way of getting out. I just find it rather curious that you got people like Tim Holmseth and all these others complaining that they're whining and crying because they're being silenced, or that they claim they're being silenced, and yet when people criticize them against them and their fellow turd commandos, that they turn around and do everything they can to try and silence people. In my case, they gaslight me, and in the case of people like the person over on YouTube, they gang up and they do copyright strikes and get these people taken off. And one of the big disadvantages to fighting any kind of a strike on social media is you have to give out your personal information to the carrier, and this is then provided to the complainant. So basically, you're doing a reverse doxing here, because you either give up your personal information or you drop any protest and you take the material down. And this apparently happened, and it got to the point where I guess the YouTube channel was taken down by YouTube because of all these comments that were put up about this particular individual who claims to be JFK Jr. So JFK Jr., who is supposed to be the Vice President of the United States, which has been no announcement yet, is against the First Amendment. And, it's really kind of a strange situation. Yes, Field McConnell is under what they call a level 1 house arrest. He has a GPS monitor on, and he cannot leave the building. He can't go out into the front yard. It's unclear if he can go out in the backyard, but he has to stay close to the house. So he might be able to go swimming in the luxury swimming pool. I mean, the guy is quite literally in a gilded cage. He's just in a house that's better than his up in Wisconsin. It has a custom pool. It's a custom-built house, lavish interior, the whole 9 yards. So he's living like a king while he's under house arrest. Talk about a lucky break. No, you're all right, moderate, because I saw it and I just happened to comment on it. But it's better, it's nice to have it in the record on the chat just in case. So, there's Hawkeye fan. No, I don't think he is, but, it's, but I call them like I see it, and that's all they command are turds, so because they're so full of them. So they have an army of turds that they need to command. But yeah, Tim Holmseth is on this thing where he's saying that hybrids are being buried in Central Park or over on the island. It's amazing. The people actually believe this garbage, but what are you going to do? It's, you just have to keep talking about these people and exposing them. And, people can decide they're either going to follow these people or not. And no, I was wondering if the Turd Command is going to come in here tonight. Turd Command shows up every night. Was in here, showed up late last night. I was just getting ready to shut my webcast down, and in comes the Turd Command. And the Turd Command was supposed to have a screenshot of me saying something about giving people GoPros, like this GoPro. and Turd Command promptly left and hasn't been heard from since. Ferd, he may or may not have money hidden away. The problem is, his field he's got problems with the Internal Revenue Service. He's got problems with the Wisconsin Tax Authority, and he's got problems with his mortgage. So, I mean, he may have money hidden away, but everything that's not hidden away, such as all his cars, his farm equipment, and so forth, is going to be the property of the United States government, and eventually it'll be auctioned off. There's going to be a delay because of this corona thing, but eventually the stuff's going to be auctioned off, and it's to my advantage that this stuff is being delayed because I have things in the background. Now, I did check today with the Broward County Court, and they are going to assess, apparently, by the 19th of April, whether or not they are going to be opening the court at that time. There is the possibility, because it's a hot spot down there, the court may be closed in May when the initial hearing is going to start on the field situation. It's a calendar call. It's not anything more than just housekeeping, deciding what's going to happen where and how. So we're not going to get into too much with Field McConnell, probably not until the end of the summer and into the fall, because with the corona thing, it's going to create an unusual situation with the court even when things open up, because then everybody's going to be practicing catch up. There's all kinds of stuff that got bottlenecked up in this proceeding. Yeah, Daniel, I feel sorry for Denise McConnell and anyone else that's been caught in this mess, because Bill McConnell's damage is going to it's going to ripple out, and it's going to affect the inheritance of any offspring. It's going to affect her. It's going to affect a lot of people. And I have to stress that Field McConnell would not have gotten into this situation if it had not been for Timothy Holmseth. Timothy Holmseth screwed Field McConnell. Field McConnell was doing fine with this scamming before Tim Holmseth showed up. Timothy Holmseth came in and screwed it up with this Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. And then, on top of that, they started attacking Kim Picazio. Biggest mistake in the world. And what's funny, Field McConnell and E-Clause should have done their homework, because they would have found that before Kim Picazio, Tim Holmseth had at least 3 of these things against him. These hold on a minute, Daniel. He had 3 I'm having a mind blank coming up with the term, but anyway, he had three actions against him. One by the mother of his son. The other was a man down in Pensacola, and another was by a woman who was involved on the fringes in the Haley Cummings case. Daniel, if I'm able to, I will be live streaming and making videos of the Field McConnell proceedings. Now, when I checked with the court, they do not have video in the courthouse. But if I can get up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and this is something that Florida does, I have no idea, because you got to have 1,000 subscribers on a social media platform. So I have to have 1,000 subscribers. in order to be able to live tweet from inside the courtroom. Uh, and so that way, this is my main reason for wanting the 1,000 subs, so I can get inside the courtroom and live text. I can't live stream video, I can't talk or any of that. Now, there is a possibility, I haven't checked into it, but you can come in as a still photographer and take pictures in the court. That part I might not be able to do live, but I would be able to stream outside the courthouse the minute the case is adjourned. So I'm going to be checking into that. This is one of these things where I'm on the fly here. I hadn't thought about going forward with any of the other stuff until I reach that benchmark of 1,000 subscribers or get close enough to where I think it's worthwhile to go through the effort of contacting the courthouse again and getting credentialed up. So this is a day-by-day situation. The more people I get to like and subscribe this channel, the better chances are that I can live stream from inside the courthouse. I will be live streaming from the general area of the courthouse because they have Wi-Fi down there that I can tap into. I've done research into that, and as long as I'm within 500 feet of the courthouse, I can live stream from the courthouse outside. I just can't live stream from inside. They do not have a media patch like we have in Orange County. So we'll see how that goes. So like I said, Craig Sawyer is a very evil person according to Tim Holmseth and Alex Jones. Alex Jones is a jerk. I can agree on that. And I saw a post in here about the governor of the state of Florida. Yes, he is wanting to open the schools. And I disagree with that. The schools probably need to stay closed. We have homeschooling in Florida. We've had it for a long time. I don't see the problem why parents can't homeschool their kids. They don't have a job, so they don't have to worry about, going to babysitters and daycare and stuff like that. They can stay home with their kids and they can homeschool them. People have been arguing for homeschool for years. Now they got it. Now they can see how much fun it is. Yeah, I'm going to be experimenting with multiple platform streaming. That might help a little bit. I've had people making suggestions on things such as Twitch, Zoom, and so forth. And the one thing that I have mentioned before on these services is that because of the monthly fees and me being on a fixed income, I would have to figure out a way to get the revenue stream going. That's why one of the reasons I had the Patreon and the GoFundMe and so forth was to build up the funding mechanisms I need to finance these operations. But in these hard times, I can't run around asking people for their hard-earned money because people need to save it to use for their emergencies. So I'm not doing that. So I won't be putting up any links to those things for the time being because people just they need to prioritize, and the last thing they need to do is to be sending me money. And it's just like these people out there on these phony websites. That's all they do is beg for money. Even in these hard times, they're begging for money. Which is kind of sad. But that's all they're in this for is the money. And they're not in it for the truth. They keep putting this stuff up every day. And it's like, Homestead put this stuff up within the last half hour. And it's all conspiracy theories, all about Craig Sawyer. And, of course, Randy in the last 11 minutes has put it up on her page. And, she does a little bit more. There's a Washington Post reporter that was found dead in his apartment from the coronavirus, more than likely. Oh, she actually put it up twice. And so, but for the most part, these people are putting up misinformation about the coronavirus on their social media sites. Um, well, if I deserve it, 1,000 people will give it to me. If I don't deserve it, they won't. So we'll see how it goes. But, it's just unfortunate that these people in these emergency times can't set aside their garbage and, not put people's lives in danger. We got David Jose here. He's another trip. But, these people come out in these times, they don't care. They fit the benchmark of a sociopath. I wonder why this keeps coming back. I've already looked at it. But that's okay. It's fault of the software. But there's, oh, how did that happen? Yeah, somebody came in using the radio news. Now, this is, it's interesting. Somebody puts up the name of a dead woman. But that's all right. I guess she decided she didn't want to be called Turd Command. So now she's in here as radio crap. So, radio crap, radio turd, we can work either way. But, what the hell. But, probably is. Good evening, Alex. It's the daily visit of the Timmy turds decided to come out of the woodwork and troll. So, it should liven things up here. Because I wouldn't have not known they were in there, but they posted a dot to let everybody know, here I am. So, we'll see if radio news does anything. But, what can I say? Timmy's in radio silence, apparently. Nah, leave it moderate. Because I'm going to do what I did last night. I want to see where this radio crap is going to go. Because I can put up all the stuff radio news wrote about Tim Holmseth if that's what this person wants. I mean, that's no problem. I mean, radio news loved Timothy Holmseth. Didn't you, radio news? You're the number one fan of Tim Holmseth. And it's all one word, by the way. It's not 2 words. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. Remember the stuff that radio news used to write about Timmy. Okay. Yeah, what the hell? But it's funny when you stop and think about radio news and Tim Holmseth, because radio news is the reason I heard about Tim Holmseth. And I have videos up here about how radio news met Tim Holmseth and all the nice things that radio news had to say about Tim Holmseth. Yeah, walk around the gong, 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 gong. But, right now, see, I don't want to get into banning people as long as they behave themselves. Now, if radio starts being abusive, I'll give you the hammer. But for right now, let's just sit on it and see what happens. The radio right now hadn't done a damn thing. It's just sitting there quietly watching everything. And I guess Radio Turd wanted to make its presence known Because normally you can watch the channel without chatting. You don't have to sign in or anything. You can just sit there and lurk it. Um, but, that's fine. But I appreciate the offer, Margaret. I appreciate you helping me out. And I'm just going to have to put the gong down for a minute. And I'm old enough to remember that show. Weird. That was one of the weirdnesses they did back in those days. Funny. Yeah, that's up there with the Rowan and Martin Lappin and all that other stuff. It's just strange stuff going on in those days. The shows we have on TV now are nowhere near as weird as what they had back then. It's just, and the original MTV started going off the deep end when they first started up. It was funny. Might, if you take the word might out of there, I think you'll have have it correctly. I think I can't remember. No, that's the wrong show. I wonder what their theme was. I can't remember. Radio killed the Hollywood star. Yeah, radio killed a lot of things. Radio was a trip. I'll swear, I've never met such a vindictive woman in all my life. I mean, she was bad. I had a lot of bad fights back then, but alright, this is what... I am just one big freaking ray of sunshine. This is my company shirt, so to speak. One of these days I'll take a portrait of me in this thing. But there it is, all in its blaze of glory. Let the sunshine in. I saw this thing in a Walmart and I figured it'd be a good shirt for the show, so I picked it up. And the camera I'm using doesn't have, the right field of view to bring the whole thing in. So, because then all you would see is me off in the distance, and it probably wouldn't come out too well on the smartphones that people use to watch the stream. So, Martha, it is my understanding that the woman that used to be radio news died, and she died quite a while ago, within months after the mysterious book thing. But, it's... I think I've confirmed the information, but, I'm just not 100% sure. But I have it on a good authority that she died roughly 6 months after I got the book. So, one of these days I'm going to bring that book out here. It's in I actually have two studios. I have this studio that I use for live streaming. I have the other studio in the front room that eventually it's going to be for my video monologues when I'm not live streaming, and it also serves another purpose, but I'm using that studio as a storage room at the moment, so I've got to rearrange in there again because it's an absolute mess in there. I am one messy person. Anyway, so that's where we're at on that. So... And let's see, I've got keep getting prepped messages. Why does this keep repeating the same message? Huh, that's weird. Okay. That's weird. I wonder why it keeps doing that. I've never had that do that before. You go into Twitter, and all of a sudden your direct messages keep coming up as new. I've never had that happen before. The only time I've had it happen when somebody's come in, left a direct message, and then they close their account, and the one that remains there, but the message goes away. So, but but yeah, I'm just looking through social media to see what's going on. Ooh, that's cool. Advertising a video game. I'm not into these kind of video games, but that's a cool game. I like to watch Twitch and see all the neat video games I got in there. Hi, Dodger. Uh, oh, good. I am looking very much forward to your new video, so go edit away. How are these people standing these brooms up? That's weird. I'm watching a video, and people are taking this one particular kind of broom and they're standing them up. And I have, that is, I wonder how they're doing that. I've seen several of these. Did you see that Captain Skidmarks made walking that? You want to translate that, Alex? I sometimes I have a problem with Alex speak. Yeah, definitely edit that video. I love your videos. Can't show them because I can show the video. Um, that's funny. I'm gonna retweet that on my Twitter. There's this thing with the you guys got to see with the brooms. I don't know how they do that. I have one of these kind of brooms, and I don't think I could get it to stand up like that. This seems to be a challenge people are doing. Okay. Okay, let me pull your. Okay, I'll be waiting for that. Because nothing's come through yet. Tim got a mention as a psycho. Yeah. Well, that's. I agree with that one. Okay, he's definitely a psycho. Okay, let me do this. Oh, here we go. Just showed up. Nope, just these two again. I don't. That's weird. Okay. Because I'm keep getting the. I don't under. Every time I refresh, the same two. Who's this? Okay. That one I agree with. Those two again. Yeah. Twitter is acting weird tonight. Captain Skidmark is probably Timmy. Be my guess. This is strange. Yeah, for some reason I'm not getting it, Alex. So I don't know what the deal is. Okay, Dodger, let us know when the video's done. I want to see the video. So, happy editing. I always look forward to Dodger's videos. Funny guy. Actually, Home Turd, I think, would be a better Timothy Home Turd. They're all turds, so we might as well call them that. Yeah, for some reason, Everybody's been complaining about Twitter tonight, and so it's just weird. I keep getting the same two. Keeps notifying me that two. Well, where were they with the fish people and the lizard people? You know, that, because this is not the first time Tim's gone off on this, and now he's getting into this hybrid shit. So let's see what we got. QAnon Indian. Oh, the Wonkat. Okay. So we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking through it now. This QAnon stuff is the dumbest thing. Yeah, we get JFK Jr. got mentioned in here again. You know, it's another. Yep. Okay, curiously, this imaginary rescue mission bears a strong resemblance to another QAnon conspiracy invented last year by a man by the name of Timothy Charles Holmseth, who claims to be part of, no joke, the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. Holmseth claimed that he was the only person allowed to report on a story about Navy SEALs rescuing 2,100 children, also from underground tunnels. It will shock you to learn that there is no such thing as the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. In case you're wondering why we haven't heard anything about this marvelous rescue mission, it is because if we found out what has really been going on, we'd be all crazy and end up in mental institutions. So Tim Holmseth got famous once again. So I wonder if he's going to sue them. You know, and start calling them pedophiles. So that'll be a trip. Yeah, this is, what the hell? I'm going to tweet this. I can't share it to Facebook on this computer, so I'll have to wait on that one. I'll transfer it over to my other one later. And then I'm going to bookmark this thing. Walking that. See, they're on Twitter, so I'm going to follow them on Twitter. Got quite a following over there. So I am now a follower of Wonkanet. I don't know, that's a trip. But yeah, anybody that exposes these turds is a friend of mine. You know, FDA says Alex Jones can't sell his magic anti-coronavirus anymore. And this largely is, a lot of stuff in here is political, so if you're on the left-hand side of the ball, this is a place to go. But it's kind of fun that they're on track after Tim Holmes says. So yeah, interesting. I'll be using that a lot. Good link. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Alex. Good, good, good. Oh. Oh, the Turd Force showed up. Hello, Turd Force. Hey, Turd Force. Yo, Turd Force. Where's that screenshot? You signed off and you didn't put up the screenshot. Why is that? Come on, Turd Force. Where's the screenshot? Where's the screenshot? Where's the screenshot? Da 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 da. God, I can't sing. Starts right in with the. At least Turd Force is early tonight. She didn't wait until the very last minute. Yeah, I just never got into that stuff. It's been around. I just hadn't seen it. Well, that's the only thing they're the force of is turds. Bunch of turds running around on the internet. And Timmy's the press turd, and Field's the jail turd. So on and so forth. And of course, you got the Turd Command. The big commander of the Turd, and then the Turd Force, which is all encompassing. So I got one big mountain of turds spreading the turd shit. Yeah, probably. Well, he doesn't use toilet paper, so, you know. Of course, by the looks of things, it probably doesn't even reach the toilet. It seems to go everywhere but the toilet. Oh, paper's coming your way. Oh, I've got another case to cover. Yeah. Turd Force, how do you sue a username? Because you have to, see, the thing of it is, Turd Force, you have to identify yourself in a lawsuit. So, go for it. This will give me a trial to cover. And where are you going to file? What state you going to file in? Now, since Alex lives in Ohio, you have to file in Ohio. So this ought to work. Well, Turd is good at making threats and not coming in on them because Turd has yet to post the screenshot she said about me last night. And she made a bunch of accusations on my channel last night and didn't offer any proof. So, what the hell? Turd Force, bring it on. I cover trials. And since Tim Holmseth ran away from his trial, I can't cover his. I can't cover Field McConnell until things get settled down here in Florida. So, bring on the papers. It'll give me something to cover, to talk about on this channel. Because I'll put it up on here in YouTube and we'll discuss it. Sounds like a trip. And, when the paperwork comes, Alex, are you up to being interviewed? Famous Roll Red Roll celebrity gets sued by the Turd Force. That'd make for an interesting. That'd be the second time I interviewed you, even though I didn't put the first one up. I might put that up as a retrospect video one of these days. Got busy and I never got around to finishing it. Actually, it took me a while to find it. I had the camera in storage. Oh, yeah. Discovery works both ways. So, yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. And Discovery is public information. You can't hit anybody with a copyright strike on court paperwork. And that doesn't, or privacy, that doesn't work because everything is out there. That's why Timmy put all that stuff in his court proceedings because he knew that. Not that it did him much good. Yep. And they're scared of me, too. Because every time I go after Timmy, out come the fake chats and out come all the cartoons and everything else. All that stuff that Radio News wrote. Yep, the old gaslight. Yep. Yep, these maritime law lawyers or whatever the hell the Soviets are calling them, Soviet citizens. They're not sovereign citizens, they're Soviet citizens. They want the Soviet system over here. So that's what they are. Yeah, Monty's a cool dude. I may not agree with his politics, but he's an excellent commentator. Oh, thank you. It's nice to know. I gotta do something about this gut, but other than that. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Lee is kind of in radio silence. I wonder if he'll get that Alaskan judge as his attorney. That'd be fun. I don't know if she can practice in Ohio, but that'd be fun if she was his legal counsel. Maybe he'll do proceed like Timmy does. Yep, the Soviet citizens are a terror group under the Justice Department. Yeah, he better be scared. Yeah, because civil lawsuits aren't fun, especially when you're on the losing side. That's the first thing they go after is financial disclosure. Because I laughed when they came out with Tim Holmes's financial disclosure in that lawsuit that he filed. That guy, man, it's unbelievable. Yep, he does. He has to get an Ohio attorney because she doesn't believe in the bar, so she can't represent anybody in Ohio. Oh, I'd be glad to. Not that Timothy had come on my show, but yeah, if they want to debate each other, I'll put it on here because I'll just sit back and let them fly at each other. That'd probably be my highest viewed channel on this channel, or that would be the highest viewed video on this channel if those two got at it. You know, Alex would have him for lunch. Be one swallow. It'd be like a pit bull eating a hot dog. Yup. That'd be like letting Winnie after Timmy. Say, Winnie, go sick 'em. Arf. Well, we do it by Skype. You know, we just do the conference thing on Skype and then pipe it through to here. You know, there's ways to do that. Yeah, Chad. Turd Force came in here and made a threat. So what are you gonna do? You know, Turd Force makes a lot of threats. But the thing of it is, Turd Force would have to identify themselves. You can't a internet username cannot be a plaintiff in a lawsuit. Yeah, Turd Force would have to be pro C because uh, uh, our courts. That's the thing, you know. I don't understand how this would work with Soviet citizens because they don't recognize our court system. So if somebody comes in here and they threaten to sue you, and they're a Soviet citizen, how are they going to do it? Are they going to have Kurt Pendergrass be the judge or something? You know, I don't get how they would do that. Because if they go in to the U.S. civil court system, they're breaking their rules. Yeah, Chad, she probably just picked the attorney's name out of thin air and put it on there. She's probably used them for something else. But, that nothing's been filed with the court, and until something's filed with the court, it doesn't mean crap. Yep, that's the seal. That's the seal of the turd force is Timmy's poopy fingerprint. What in the hell is all this? Paramilitary soldier wearing mask, American flag, 4B4CR patch. Looks like a jigsaw puzzle. I put up one of these. Oh, this is Timmy's stuff. So let's go over there. Yep, Timmy, 17 minutes ago, he put up another one of these weird things. Oh, I got mentioned again. Mert is going to save their careers with his mad PR skills. See more. Oh, this took a while. He finally got around to it. He's put up all the videos again. Let's see what this video is, because Yep, he's put up the prank call in number 1. Let's see, in number 2, he's put up another prank call. Number 3, he put up the Channel 6 story about me, and Channel 4 is the cartoons. You're a little late, Timmy. I expected this a little earlier than this, but, what can I say? And William K. Murtathon is reportedly doing PR for Craig Sawyer. Man crush bromance. Craig Sawyer has been accused of contributing to the dark web. And, okay, we've got the chat again. Yeah, Tim, I saw this. This took longer than I expected. Timmy putting all this stuff up here. He put up the fake chat, which is very consistent. He does this every day. And look at this. He's in here today. He put up my my current one. So he was in here 11 minutes ago. So he came in probably under either radio news or the Turd Force, and he did a screenshot of my chat. So Tim Holmseth was in here. Hi, Timmy. How's the Turd Force doing, Timmy? Yeah, you can't live without me, can you, Timmy? Yeah. Oh, what a nut. I gotta love this guy. For a sociopath, he's quite creative. 19 minutes ago. Didn't take him long at all, because here we are. We're only an hour into the chat, and he's already got me up on his Facebook. I bet you he records the whole damn thing, even though it's, he can go on at any time and screenshot. He comes in here and he just... Oh, I gotta love this guy. Keep it up, Timmy. Keep it up. Because every time you do one of these things, you make it so that you can't sue me because you're gaslighting me. Because this would all come into court. So, that's cool. Just sinking yourself. The Tim Tannic. The Tim Turd Tannic. Timmy, turd. Okay, enough of that shit. Got enough turds in the room now. So everybody be sure to wave to Timmy. He's in here. He's in here observing my channel. He's written 3 articles in the space of 11 minutes, so it probably took about, he probably in the very first 5 minutes, he took that screenshot. Well, the thing of it is, if Sawyer is suing Timmy, Timmy keeps giving him ammunition. You know, because, you know, he's going to keep piling it on. You know, well, Sawyer's going to have to rent a U-Haul van just to bring the evidence into court against Tim Homestead. You know, and there are 11 defendants in that lawsuit, so it's going to be a hell of a party. Well, McDonald's is open on the weekend, but I haven't quite pinned down. I've got it pinned down to 2 McDonald's. He's in an area of the country where there's not very many McDonald's, so. But he only goes at most an hour away from his base of operation. So the thing of it is he has not done a live stream from McDonald's in a while. I think he's probably got scared off because he knows that I'm able to nitpick his videos, and so we'll see what happens. Let's end child trafficking. Okay, well, we can end it by having Tim Homestead turn himself in. Wire fraud investigation. Yep, they're investigating Tim. So, yep, and Randy could be in on that wire fraud business too, actually, but that's, you know, that's alleged. But yeah, Timmy's just giving Greg Sawyer all kinds of foundational evidence. Very generous of him. And trying to see something here. Whoop. Nope. But, come on, let's go back. But Tim just saved me. I'm going to download this. He just saved me because I now have, whoop, save images. Okay. And we've got that up. And what's this one? That's the Turd Command channel. So, but got me with my mouth open. That's not quite. I'll put this up so people. This is and he can't hit me with a copyright strike because this is me. That's the thing about these things. If you take a picture of me, I'm actually the one that can do the copyright strike. But that's since he was kind enough to give me a picture of me. But I actually was going to do this, but he saved me the trouble. I just. Yeah, that's pretty close. But this is the picture of me that Tim took over on his Facebook. This had to be within the first 10 or 15 minutes of the live stream. So he decided to put this up. And the nice thing, I can graphic this thing up temporarily. Um, but people will sit there and say, Mert, you're awful still. Your mouth is, I can hear you say stuff, but your mouth ain't moving. No, I can, that way people think I'm on the air, and I could be doing anything. I could be, if I had something like this, he wouldn't have gotten the camera shot of me. And in Timmy's religion, it's against the law to be on the air without a shirt on. That's the latest thing. See, he's got a picture of me over on uh, his Facebook of the one time that I accidentally had my camera on when I was checking. I have a little um, video camera, the same one I used to video. Matter of fact, it's the same camera I used to interview Alex with. And I was trying to find a video that I had taken on one of my live streams. Matter of fact, I think it was a Kaylee Memorial. And Monoxide did a screen cap of it. So, all over the internet. Ooh, my glasses? Because they probably are. Timmy, I don't know. He just, If it wasn't for my vision, I wouldn't even wear glasses. Glasses are the worst thing you can. All right, I'm back. They're the worst things that you can wear on a show, depending on your lighting. I had to go through hell to get the lighting right so that things don't show up here. And back when I was live streaming, there was someone that owned a Ustream channel called Mert Media. And she was a troll, and she had a picture of me, and I had these big navigator glasses on, and my monitor showed right up in the glasses. They had a ball with that one. And so, you really don't want to be wearing glasses because, I can wear I can use the screen and take the glasses off, but it blurs a little bit. Monoxide MMAC is a character from southeast Kentucky. His name is Joshua Wayne Melton. And Mr. Melton is responsible for creating a fake chat. And the fake chat had me having discussions about taking kids to the mall and that sort of thing. And Tim Holmseth decided that he wanted to use Mr. Melton because of all the nice things he put up about me. All the prank telephone calls you see in Tim Holmseth's Facebook are done by Mr. Melton. And he basically violated the Telephone Communications Act because he's making harassing phone calls. He's recording a resident of the state of Florida without their permission. We have a two-party law here in the state of Florida. You cannot record my telephones without my permission. And, he gets on there with these, what they call soundboard things where you have one-liners like what Judge Judy used to say, all these weird things. And he'd arrange them in a way to make it look like I was having a conversation with some crazy woman from Brooklyn, and I was actually talking to a tape recording, or a recording. And he's got these, they're still on YouTube. They're kind of weird. And what you do is, just for the hell of it, I'm going to, because Tim Homseth seems to think I hide from these. I don't. I use them as proof. Oh, that's what he did. He took a screenshot right off my, that's cool. But Monoxide, what's funny is, what do you mean no? What this guy do? Take his channel down? There he is. Alright, let's go over to Monoxide's channel here. Whoop. Okay, let me bring this down. But this is Monoxide's channel. And this is all the stuff you see on Tim Holmes's page is done by this guy. Now, the picture that you see there yeah. This guy here with a cigarette in his mouth, it turns out he's a serial killer. And so what it does is it brings you into let me go back. Come on, go back. There we go. But anyway, the guy with a cigarette was a serial killer, which is a perfect choice for Monoxide. Yeah, it's still up. I can't get it taken down. I've been complaining to YouTube about this thing for years. And as you can see, this was 11 years ago. So Tim Holmeseth has gone back 11 years to gather this material. And this is the famous underwear shot. And I had, when I lived up in Sorrento, I had a 70-inch Sony TV. And this is back, Monoxide is in jail. Anyway, but I had the studio.
Yeah.
And the Sony TV was a monster. It was, the reason I got a hold of it, it was a commercial grade TV back then. Channel 2, our NBC affiliate, used to use it for a background. They do the weather on it and stuff. And I had a chance to pick up one because I have access to commercial broadcasting equipment, so I picked the thing up. And it generates a hell of a lot of heat. Anybody that's ever had a rear projection TV, you know how warm they get. And so and to the left of my arm there, as I face the set, or to the right as you're looking at it, there I have a big window. And so all the sun is coming in and I'm getting hot. So I took my shirt off. And I generally will turn my webcam off, but I forgot to do it. And I have, which Monoxide conveniently left out of the shot, a Canon webcam, or Canon video camera. And I was going through it because I had distribution of child pornography. He put links to child pornography on a number of websites, and one of them being Leonard Padilla, and he got mixed up with some stuff out in Nevada, so he looks quite different today than he did back then. I was surprised when I pulled out the mugshot. Well, yeah, for some reason, there's a number of people that took and made this. Alex knows who they are. But for some reason, it's a big deal that I didn't have my shirt on. And this is a kind of nitpicky bullshit that I used to have to put up with. And then he made this call here. Well, for some reason, I'm not getting into. But that. Well, what's funny is I think people were jealous back then. I had 4,000 viewers back then, but they there used to be more than 6 videos. These are all that left. He had a bunch of videos, and we got about 20 of them taken down. And these few survived because I think this is the Judge Judy one. And of course, I had my shirt on for that one. This guy here, this is Leonard Padilla. He was a bounty hunter. He uses the voice of Andrew Dice Clay on this one. Yeah, this is where he admits that he's using soundboards. Not sure what this was about. Then he made the funny answering machine, and then talked to Adam Sandler was with another one. So, this is, but at one time he had close to 20 of these up there. I mean, he had some blue beauties, and yeah, sitting shirtless in Florida, and this was done in August. And if anybody's ever been in Florida in August, you know how hot it is in here. And the problem was that it's hot in this room, or in that room. I lost the house, but of course all the walls are painted white. And I had a set of lights because back in those days these sensors in the webcams weren't that good, and so you had to light the place up like a Christmas tree. So I was getting all the lights and everything. It was hotter than hell in that room, and the air conditioner couldn't keep up with it. So that is, but let me. See if I can find him. This guy, Mr. Baldy here, is Joshua Wayne Milton. And if you go down, and for this particular site, I think you have to pay for stuff. He was born in 6/6 of 1977, so the birth date matches. And he was, in this case, it was money laundering, 4 counts of illegal control, enterprise, one count of gambling, and 1 count of benefit from gambling. And this is in Arizona, I believe. And this was Maricopa County, Arizona, is where this was. But what's funny is there's another picture, but that's Joshua. I couldn't believe it when I first, but that's who Tim Holmseth relies on. And this is, trying to see. Of course, this is what I wrote about him. This is a blog that I'm having a hell of a time with. I've got to pull this blog off because I've changed plans with GoDaddy, and I've got to pull everything down off my servers. So that's something I've got to start doing. Well, he did in the past, Alex. He has drug convictions. That was the latest one that I found, or the last one I found on him. And of course, there's Timmy. Knoxville, Tennessee. That's an old picture. Come on. See, that's a different mountain. I can't see. The problem is I had to make sure that I had the right Melton when I looked at all of these. But this blog here is interesting to visit because um, there's a lot it says about Joshua. These are just all what it is that he was up on the mugshot page. This is why. And but this is I wrote about Mr. Mountain back. What's the date of this? This is way back in 2017 or 2012, I think. Yeah, for some reason I'm not getting a date on this. But Moising fraud. This blog here. So let me see if I can pull this out. This blog is still up, surprisingly. But this was written by someone that. Oh, maybe they did finally take it down. But that I've got that entire blog. Because what it is this. See, let me close out. What I'll do is I'll put. This is neat. This comes in handy. Um, but I put up the Timmy photo. All right, let me do it this way. This is not going to cooperate. Okay. Yep, there it is. But this was this is a blog that was written about monoxide, and I will put a link to this blog. And I never did find out who wrote this blog. Um, but I'll tell you straight up, there's a couple of these that were written, and this person is no fan of mine. I mean, I don't know why. But for whatever reason, I gotta lower this because I gotta bring this up to the bottom. So I gotta align this. There. But I keep track of these because I bring this out so that people understand that Timmy is using a blogger that, number one, God darn it. I don't know why that's the first time that's come up. There it goes. But it goes down through here. But I will put this link in the chat for your viewing pleasure so you understand where Tim Holmseth is getting all his material from. That, but It's pathetic. I'm a troublemaker. I'm a this is monoxide. I am a bad influence. I should be influencing anyone. Who cares how many friends you have? Some people don't want friends. Lulz makes the world go around. Everything in life is done for the lulz. I killed Murtmania, which is funny because Murtmania was my enemy. When I set my sights on something, bad things tend to happen. Anyone who is loyal to Murtmania or SBD or Murt isn't wanted. Which is funny because SBD was an enemy of mine, Murtmania was an enemy of mine. So not only did he go after friends of mine, but he went after enemies of mine, and he went after me. You know, he's just like Tim Homestead, carbon copy. But this is a person that joined Monoxide in his uh, antics, and then found that uh, he got so bad that she got away from him. And from what I'm understanding, it's a woman that wrote this. Uh, but right in here, in this very blog, he admits to tampering with my chat. And so, and he has admitted he just admits that he created the fake chats. I'm trying to find. This gets into the BH chat. Then came the LP chat when Mono posted the porn anime. And this was the child pornography. I would not be surprised because Monoxide is an alleged pedophile, so those two would get along great. He's using his material. The last I knew, Monoxide's in jail, so any contact with Monoxide would be rather difficult. Now, this here is one of my old websites, and he's admitting to getting into it. And it says right here, that's my Mert chat. There's my username. This is my domain. There is Monoxide saying that is his chat. So Monoxide right there admitted to hacking my website. And so that tells you clearly that it was Monoxide that made the fake chats. And Tim Holmseth has seen this blog, yet he refuses to acknowledge it. He doesn't even want to state that it exists. And these are all comments. And he uses racist language, and if you look at the chats that have been posted, the bigoted remarks show up in the chats and not by me, or it's the person that's supposed to be me. And what's funny about this is somebody put up this Peter Pan syndrome thing, and if you go through the Peter Pan syndrome, it actually matches Tim Homestead. Monoxide was a rather strange dude. He made Timothy Holmseth look like a saint. Um, that was, every time I look at this blog, it's in wonderment that people that get referred to the site just don't get it. Um, that this is what Tim Holmseth is using, and they ignore it. And but 2011 March 14, 2009 was the last time this person wrote about monoxide. Now just do the math. We're talking about 12 years that this happened. You know. And like this, the YouTube videos were going up at the same time this blog was being written about. Um, but this, I spent 6 hours that day arguing with followers of Mert, knowing what I know now. I have no idea why I wasn't booted day one. That's because I don't censor people. And of course, it would help if I bring this over. Um, but this paragraph right here sums it up. And I spent 6 hours that first day arguing with followers of Mert. Knowing what I know now, I have no idea why I wasn't booted out. I left the chat that night and started Googling this man. And came across the motto was like my taint. And that's not my motto. We all know who, I know whose motto that is, and she knows whose motto that is. It's not my motto. So, somehow this person got that part mixed up. During this time frame, a spoof chat was put up for all those who had issues per se with this man Mert and his friends. It was properly named Mert Mania. I spent the next day in both chants and were eager and believed that something I wasn't on my direction to Mert. See, this is a smear campaign that worked. Mert Mania was the same as Radio and Timmy. They were gaslighting. And Mert Mania eventually disappeared. I think because CPS got a hold of the woman. This is a woman that liked to let her kids wander around in the middle of the road. And she did all kinds of weird things in the camera, and I think somebody finally reported her. But this person came in and she pretended to be a friend of the group, and she was, basically, I don't know what she was doing, whether she was looking for evidence of something and never found anything, of course. That was an open forum. And of course, here is where she talks about monoxide spamming my channel. Even when I moved over to Pal Talk, they went over to Pal Talk, spam me over there. It's just this guy would not leave me alone. And I got to the point where I said, screw it, and I shut down. Went over and I played Farmville for years. Because if you look back in my streaming history, I was off the air for almost 8 years. This YouTube that I started up recently. And of course, Greg's here, which is UK Mod. This is what happens when you trust somebody. He's another source of problems. And he's the reason I'm having problems with my GoDaddy blog to this day. Is because he put my login information for GoDaddy out there for all to see, and it took me forever to get GoDaddy to change everything. But, and monoxide like to call women cunts and that sort of thing. It's a word I'm not comfortable. But it's just, it goes on and on and on. But, you know, read the blog and you get a lot of information there. Um, this person was no fan of mine. And there's two of these blogs out there. This Moising Freud or whatever the heck her name is one of two of them where they went after monoxide. Um, but for some strange reason, if you start live streaming or doing something on the internet, there's always somebody out there to screw you up, and I just don't understand that. Tim is a see you next Tuesday. Yep, that's a good way to put it. But um, oh yeah, I had people hitting me left and right. I just said, Jesus, what did I do to deserve this? It's costing me $100 a month for the internet access and everything else that was going on, and I have to put up with this for $100 a month. It was amazing. Because internet back then was pretty damn expensive. It's not cheap now, but it was even more expensive then. And it was just unbelievable what I had to put up with. Okay, this is the other one. Um, and this is a blog spot. This is Monoxide 411. And again, I believe this is written by a woman. Um, and you'll find out because there's a couple articles about me in here. This person was no fan of me at all. She accused me of using the Haley Cummings case as a way to make money. This is what got everybody after me. It's because they thought that I wanted to be rich off of the Haley or the Casey Anthony case. Excuse me. And this is what got Alex after me, as a matter of fact, because Alex was under the mistaken impression that I was in this for the money, and it took a long time for me to, you know, get that thought out of her head. But it was too late by that time. But at this time, everybody, for whatever reason, thought I was trying to make money off of this. And believe me, you cannot make money off of this sort of thing unless you're famous because it's a very expensive thing to get involved in. Um, but Chloroform Casey was another one that was a big enemy of mine. Uh, this post here on April 2009 by Default Dutch is monoxide. Um, as monoxide would come in here and here's one of his Monoxide 411. This is when he was actually interacting. He eventually gave up and walked away. To the first commentator, I'm not going to expose people just to malign them. If they strike, I strike back. I don't monkey with people unless I have justification. If anyone from blah, 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 blah. But, Monoxide kept coming up with excuses and it didn't work. And let's see what the next one is here. This is something different. But the there was a while here for when this blogger tried to move on to different uh, route or subjects. And let's see, let me go down to older posts. Oh, Turd Force is back. Hello, Turd Force. I guess everybody can argue with Turd Force for a minute because I'm trying to find something here. But this blog, which I put in the room, uh, is where Tim Homeseth gets all his material from. And this guy here, this is a purse snatcher, uh, and this was someone that helped Monoxide. That's his uh, significant other or whatever the hell she was. These two would use names to screw around with people. Um, and what's curious, okay, I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, we're back. But he would joke about beating up women. He actually wrote a poem about having sex with his mother. Now this guy's from Kentucky, so I don't know why is it all these weirdos come from Kentucky. It reminds me of another character from up there. They let's see. This kind of reminds me of Tim Homeseth. This is a poem by Monoxide. I was so hungry I cracked the shell and double yolk egg into the bowl fell. I was so excited a photo I taked so no one would think the egg was faked. It's all about eggs. And you can tell the guy had a very poor command of English. That was, and they were squirrel eggs, I guess, in the pictures. But if you guys go back, um, and this also, a guy in St. Petersburg, Florida, reported him today at noon. I have an appointment with the agent at the FBI office in St. Pete to discuss the complaint that I had filed last week when my family was threatened and all the harassing phone calls started. And this is one of the things that got Monoxide in trouble. And Alex, you know who Short Bus Dude is. Uh, and he did a pedophile rape threat about Short Bus Dude's daughter, which wasn't cool. That when he started going after the children of people, that's when people finally had enough of this guy. Because this is right around the time he put the pornography over on Leonard Padilla's website. And he also put pornography on one of my websites. But these boards here are all the boards that eventually had problems of one type or another against monoxide. Let's see now. These are all comments. And again, monoxide comes up. And this got into, somebody put up all the contact information, which didn't help monoxide all that much because people started calling it. And just there are, it's these old blogs are interesting because it gets into um, a lot of the stuff that was going around back then. Because, like I said, this is right in the middle of the Casey Anthony case. But this, yeah, it's just that it's this shows you how people will just come after you for no reason at all. It's really annoying. Um, because I had planned on doing a lot of stuff with that room back then, and then these plans just got thrown out the window. So I'm just going down through these. And I'm not. Turd Force, if you're talking to me, I'm not even paying attention to the chat right now. Um, it's too bad that you're not watching this blog because you can learn a lot. That your friend is uh, hanging around with a child pornographer and a pedophile, but apparently that doesn't matter. And that he would use false information from a pedophile to defame somebody. But since Tim Homseth is a sociopath, in my opinion, then that's what he's going to do. But there's two separate blogs that I put up tonight, Turd Force, I have shown where this monoxide MMAC has admitted to creating the fake chats and to hacking my website, putting up child pornography, joking about raping women, having sex with his own mother. And this is the kind of guy that Tim Homseth supports. Now, that's the kind of company he keeps. And like Tim Homseth said in his book, likes attract. So he's attracted to monoxide because he is probably a pedophile. That's my opinion. Since he seems to like to label me a pedophile, he must know because he must be a pedophile. But there was something in this one of the two blogs about monoxide where he actually threatened to beat up a 14-year-old girl because she would not have a certain kind of sex with him. I don't know if it was oral sex or anal sex or whatever it was, but he threatened and or beat the girl up. Okay, what is this? Oh, okay. This is okay. This is Bobby, and Bobby is this girl here. These were two people closely associated with annex on the internet. I can't remember precisely, but they would let their, this is their child. Not sure. That is a dead squirrel, by the way. No, it's not. Well, it may not be, but it's the same person. But by reading the comments here, you'll know that this blogger was no fan of mine. Um, they were basically going after on monoxide on their own. So nobody can use the excuse to say, "Oh, this is just someone you knew that's trying to help you out," and that was not the case. This blogger hated me almost as much as Tim does. But this blogger also had to admit that monoxide had created fake chats and everything and was attacking me as well as others. Because this blogger did use material that mentioned me in it. Yes, he can be. If the court is so inclined, they can violate Field McConnell because he has not followed the conditions of the court. The court has said that he has to take the material off the internet, and at some point, maybe the law enforcement will say it's time for the stuff to come down. Now, when you go through the fake chats that Tim Holmes has put up, you're going to see a name by the name of KFC Fan. That is Monoxide. So Monoxide, again, has shown that he created the chat. Because he figured, people that do this sort of thing always figure out a way to leave kind of like a souvenir uh, as a kind of a signature to their work. And this is what uh, Melton did. Um, he went ahead and he came in as KFC Fan, and that's where that picture came from, because he wanted it known that he had something to do with the chat, and it all through everything that Monoxide does and the material that Tim uses, it has Monoxide's fingerprints all over it. So Tim knows that he is reporting false information. He is reporting gaslighting as fact. And that's Tim Holmes said. He'll take something and he doesn't care if it's true or not, and he'll just put it out there. And I talked to him about this, and he says, well, it's not my job to investigate. It's my job to report. And yet he calls himself an investigative reporting. I found this rather odd. And I have told him about Monoxide and the fact that this guy lived 10 minutes from the mother of Trenton Duckett at the time Trenton Duckett disappeared. And So, it I just don't understand Tim. I mean, he is supposed to be out to solve missing children cases, and yet when obvious evidence is thrown in to his attention, he ignores it. He could, who knows? This monoxide may be the key to solving the Trenton Duckett case, but Tim Homseth wants nothing to do with it because he's not out to solve missing children cases. He's out to exploit them. And so he's just going to keep looking for things to exploit. Now he's exploiting a national emergency. He's exploiting the pandemic in order to garner attention to himself. And so he's fitting right in with the definition of a sociopath. But, and this is the thing, Monoxide did the same thing that Turd Force does. He always likes to call people names. And he's done this. He would come back and everybody kept trying to accuse Short Bus Dude of being behind this blog, but I know for a fact that he wasn't. It was a woman that wrote this. And okay, this is one of his criminal record. The state versus Joshua W. Melton. Charges: 1. Carrying weapons. Count 2. Operating a vehicle while intoxicated. That's kind of an interesting pattern here. We have these people that go around doing this stuff, and they're DUI. Tim Homseth, alcoholic. Joshua Melton, alcoholic. Lights a track. 2005. Harassment of a public officer. Guilty. What does Timothy Homseth do? He harasses public officers. Likes a track. State versus Mountain, Joshua, September 2005. Violation, financial liability, accident. This is driving without insurance. Once again, failure to stop in a safe, insured distance. Guilty. Cases in the state of Illinois. Driving under the influence of alcohol. 2008. Tim Homseth. Likes a track. Driving on a revoked license. Driving on a suspended license. Operating an unregistered motor vehicle. Sovereign citizen stuff. This is all Joshua Melton. Possession, consumption of alcohol by a minor. Joshua Melton. Possession of drug paraphernalia. Joshua Melton. Possession and consumption of alcohol by a minor. Joshua Melton. Possession of alcohol by a minor. Over and over and over and over again. These are separate cases, folks, going back to 2003. And all these cases. And here is someone in April 4th, 2009. He told me he lived in Florida for a year during the time Trenton Duckett went missing. And this was he actually had a residential address, not just a hotel. So here's proof right here in black and white I actually know who this person is. That Joshua Melton was in the state of Florida when Trenton Duckett disappeared, and he had all these charges against him. Tim Holmseth completely ignores it. So Tim Holmseth is not out to solve any missing child cases. The only thing Timothy Holmseth is to exploit these cases. He doesn't want to solve anything. If he solves something, then he'd have to move on to something else. And Betty Jean Melton. I've always wanted. I forgot his mother's name, but this Monoxide 411 is actually a pretty revealing blog. Because of some of the people that used to be in here, and neither one of these blogs like me. So anybody that says that these are people or friends of mine trying to cover for me, they'd be sadly mistaken. This this was Monoxide's father. He was arrested for domestic violence. So this is, you can see where Joshua probably got his behavior from, was from his father. Come on. Screw it, for whatever reason. And now there's always been the rumor that Monoxide had a sexual relationship with his mother. So, and that's from this blog. This is, there's been several. Okay, for whatever reason, Tiny Pick took these pictures down. They used to have pictures of Monoxide on here, but they took the pictures down, and they match the mugshot. And you can look at the mugshot and look at the picture of his father, and you can see the resemblance. The fact that they like to be bald. For whatever reason, they took the pictures of Monoxide down. But I put up in my other blog, he apparently did a TV interview, and but his parents divorced, and he stayed with his mother. In 2003, she married and moved to Florida. And so that's how Joshua wound up being in Florida when Trenton Duckett went missing. Because it was 3 years later that Trenton Duckett went missing. And this is, looks like his blog is getting to Monoxide. Last night he impersonated members who left his forum. He has been posting with their accounts using racial slurs and all kinds of sick stuff. The few members who are left with him actually don't get that he's doing it. And this again is Monoxide does what Tim does, is he makes up fake accounts, impersonates people. And actually Radio News did the same thing. So but somewhere in Internetville, okay, This is monoxide at a very early age. That's his mother to the left. And as he was very, very young when he took that, and he got progressively older, he thinned down a little bit. And monoxide was a weird bug. He would troll himself, and for some reason, okay, now this is interesting here. Crime blogger who is over on Web Sleuth. I know who that person is. He seemed half normal at Web Sleuth. Remember, he was the one who tried to set Lee Anthony up by depositing money, $5 into Lee's account, and then he screamed scam. Lee Anthony is Casey Anthony's older brother. He then went off the deep end when he started pooping on everyone else's blogs. That group over at MMAC just runs around and messes up chats and shit. It is organized effort at MMAC. They call it Luz. I call it internet terrorism, and that's what the FBI called it. But this right here, crime blogger, put it right out there that Monoxide is the kind of person that would create the fake chats, and also is the one responsible for all the videos that you see on Tim Holmseth's page. So this is the kind of person that Tim Holmseth is turning to as reinforcements for his smearing of me and others. This is the kind of person that Tim Holmseth is. And I don't know if it was this blog or another blog, but somebody actually put up the post that Monoxide did with about his mother, and they copied it word for word. And I've got a computer somewhere that has all the Monoxide stuff on it, because I used to go in to Monoxide's blog before he removed it. And I'll tell you, some of the stuff on there is crazy. This anonymous left because I don't want to discuss masturbation and anal sex with a boy on the internet. That's what Monoxide used to discuss. Because he would talk about sex with boys all the time, and not men, boys. And this is, Tim Holmseth refuses to read any of this stuff. If you guys have the time, go through this blog. It's amazing. The stuff that, the comments especially, because these people fight among themselves in the comment section of this blog, and it's actually, the stuff in here is more revealing than the main articles. And this is, I believe, the youngest photo that was ever taken of Monoxide. That's his father. That's Monoxide. Oh, it's his sister. Never mind. My error. And again, we have a reference to incest and molestation. That Monoxide liked to talk about these things. And no, you cannot copyright somebody else's material. This mistake this blog made. But Tim Holmseth does the same thing. He copyrights stuff that doesn't belong to him, including court papers, which I find rather strange. Because you can't copyright public information. It's just, it's unethical. Now, you can put a small watermark down in the corner saying that you source the information, but you can't And this is monoxide again. Yeah, monoxide pretended to have a child and named it Jacob. That was weird. And, now I'm not paying too much attention to the chat because this is all, this is bringing back a lot of memories. Women who think rape and incest and molestation is cool, have they been hoodwinked by monoxide or are they just fucked up people who are drawn to MMAC because of their fucked upness? This is the kind of comments they were making on these articles. And monoxide is accused of putting up a post that went with a post, "Is rape okay?" And he quickly changed it, I guess. He was called out on it. And here again, they're talking about uh, March 30th of 2009 when he put the child porn on Leonard Padilla's chat site. So that tells you that monoxide was into children's porn, so it's only natural that he would make up chats that had children's porn in it. And, since Joshua was from Florida, he knows about St. Petersburg and some of these other places, so it was easy. Yeah, the only problem is he picked St. Petersburg, which is 2 hours away from where I live. So, and this gets into his uh, Cherokee Hills, Hazard, Kentucky, Florida address, Frank Street, Lady Lake, Florida. He actually went to the same high school as Melinda Duckett, the mother of Trenton Duckett. And he has bragged that he personally knew Melinda Duckett. Tim Homseth tried to say that I knew Melinda Duckett and Casey Anthony when it was monoxide that said that he knew both of the women. He knew them as well. And that blog is gone. That blog is gone. I don't know about this one. Come on. He had a MySpace. And see, this is Monoxide's webpage. And who do you see? Casey Anthony. And see if this comes up. No, it doesn't have his username on it. This is boy, she's changed her thing around again. E-zine articles. I would have to look up and see if he's on here. This is a handy thing. I didn't know about all these. But then goes by his family here. Mother 32. Divorced. Mother was a nurse of all things. Mountain Third was the brother. Now it's curious that Mountain did what radio did. They hid their blogs offshore. Maybe Monoxide taught radio that. Your ad will play 10,000 times and be What in the hell is that? Oh, you're gonna you that live PDs are good. Uh, actually, is it me or did we lose Turd Force? 669. Purchase what billboard? Oh, slick. That would be cute. See, that'd be almost $200 for 30,000 views. Yep, another one where everybody's talking about incest and masturbation. Okay, this is the first post that was put up on Monoxide 411. Um, and uh, again, his blog is gone. Um, this mixed martial arts MMAC is. Let me do something here real quick. I don't have the blog out because I've been looking at it, but I'm going to bring it up here. Okay, let me transition. Okay. But this is the very first entry in the blog. This was made on March 25th, 2009. And this is the person, again, that is behind all the cartoons, the picture of me with no shirt, and so on, that YouTube channel. And this is Monoxide's motive operandi. See if any of these is familiar. Prank calling people and making wild threats all day and all night. Threatening to slit people's throats and do other things to them. Posting pictures of kitty porn in a chat room because he is not wanted there. And guess where that was? Giving out people's names and email who register at his site, telling the dumb hag friends of his to go after a people he doesn't like, trying to kill other people's websites by harassing them, being a general asshole on the internet, saying it's all for the love, and more than I have time to type. He goes after people for no reason because his own life is miserable. So it's time for his payback. Watch here, and I'll put it all down soon. Now again, I'm going to put this in here for people to see it. I would love to see that sign. Anybody get a picture of it? Um, it's. But this one here, this gets into. Made it clear that this blogger has nothing, this blogger doesn't like me at all. So Tim can't say that this blog was written for me because this blogger makes it perfectly clear that they are no fan of mine. And, they still accuse me of being a scammer, so, and this is where, for some reason, it's against the law to own a motorhome. I had this motorhome long before I had my dealership. And Um, this is a motorhome that I had. I used to use it as my rolling office because I go to auctions in it. This was taken at my dealership. Uh, and people could do a Florida registration check and find out that I, in fact, own that motorhome. There's a woman from Ohio that did that. She did a DMV check of everything I owned, and then she refused to publish the fact that that was my motorhome. Never understood that. But then again, I just want to prove that uh, this blog is no friend of mine, and neither was the other one. They made it clear that they were not friends of mine. They had their own separate problems with um, monoxide. Because Tim, at one time, um, stated that now I lost my train of thought. Tim stated one time that this was some friend of mine trying to uh, clear my name, and this blog here makes that is not clear. That these people actually were victims of monoxide, but they still were no friends of me. And right here we get into the 4chan connection, and again, the chats were made by people who claimed to be part of 4chan. Monoxide was part of 4chan. Again, this is another foundation of evidence to get to the point that monoxide I'm just reviewing this because I think some of this I did. These are supposedly squirrel's eggs. I believe this is a woman that used to run Murtathon. I'm not sure, but her name is Debbie. Interesting bunch of people. Somebody complained. This is where Short Bus Dude, who was another character, reported him to the FBI because he was harassing his daughter, who was a minor, very young minor. Save our squirrels. And that was a parody, I believe. Yeah, for some reason, Monoxide got all his pictures taken down of him. Made it very hard to identify him. And I know there are people. Now, this picture here, this is a blogger that used to come after me. That is a dead squirrel, as you can see here, that they used to trap it. But these people eat squirrels, which, that's country people. They do that. This is the girl's mother. This is her father. This is the girl's mother. And they were charged with theft. Commonwealth, Kentucky. Monoxide liked to hang around with people to get thrown in jail. This is... Yeah, but the motorhome was my old travel lodge, and I sold it in 2011 because it was just I had to. It was in the dealership, name, and I had to sell it when I liquidated the business. Because I just couldn't keep it. Those things are very expensive to operate. But for some reason, it's against the law to own a motorhome. I never understood that. But that's Joshua Mountains. I'm not sure who they are, but these are more pictures of these people. But they all operated. I believe this one operated Murtathon. I'm not sure. Back to the squirrel again. Okay, this is a post where uh, his blog got removed because he was talking about raping a 14-year-old girl. So you can see that this is getting into pedophilia here. Um, and this is the way. See, this is the bone I share is monoxide. This is written in 2008 somewhere in Florida. So this puts monoxide in Florida in 2008. As long as Kathleen doesn't find out, we can take turns on little Joe. This is a girl, minor child. You can get the pussy and I can get the anus. This is how he talked. Now remember, and read the front cover of Tim Holmes's book. Hell, same language. And he has this habit of being other people and pretending to be other people. And I'll take it in the mouth. She ain't got teeth, right? That's the kind of language they used. And again, they're talking about an underage girl here. This is child pornography. This is how monoxide used to talk. Talking about a 14-year-old girl. And this is where the mixed martial arts was taken down because of that post and posts like it. And this is the KF. See, if you look at the chats that Tim put up, you'll see the KFC fan is one of the people mentioned. Again, that is monoxide. So, just all kinds of proof that monoxide. I have to go through this again because I forgot to put the damn thing over on the transition. And so I just want to make sure that, okay, this is his criminal record. Again and again and again. I read these all out. And again, the blog is linked so you can look through this. And again, this is his father, who got thrown in jail for domestic violence and eventually got a divorce. Another picture of monoxide that got taken down. He does not like his picture being up on the internet, and he fights like hell to get them taken down. But someone has all these pictures, and I'm trying to find out who has them. I think the one that wrote the blog apologizing to me has his pictures, but because she is on probation, she is afraid to send me any more internet stuff. But the person with the tie in the middle is monoxide. This was taken very, very young, even before he moved to Florida, from what I understand. And This is monoxide, supposedly here with his father, the one that got thrown in jail. This is monoxide as a little boy in the back of a pickup truck. And this is the kind of people he hung around with. Uh, Josh Mountain took a poll. Is rape okay? 55%. Is rape okay? 45%. So the majority of people that used to hang around with monoxide, which is quite a number by the way, believe rape is okay. You know, this is the kind of people that were attacking me. And then it goes through the fact that in 1987 they had moved from Hazard, Kentucky down to Lady Lake, Florida. So Lady Lake, Florida, again, is 10 miles, 15 miles from where Melinda Duckett lived, and Joshua Melton went to Leesburg High School. And these are all his different websites. Somehow they managed to get these pictures off of but never understood some of these people. But these people just they seem to think rape is a big joke. But this is monoxide's modus operandi. But this is the crap I had to put up with, and still do, because Tim is using his material to attack me, because that's all Tim knows how to do. Tim is not an investigative reporter. Now you can see my shirt. There's my shirt. And boom. See, there's my shirt, guys. Screenshot that to me. And there, I'll bring it down. But that's just a small sample. There's a couple blogs I wish I had access to if you really wanted to see some of the stuff. I had some woman try to tell me that I killed my wife and son for the insurance. I had another radio news put up that my son wasn't mine. Oh, it just, yeah, let's. Okay, this was. Okay, I'm going through here and. But, Tim has access to these images, and yet he doesn't mention them. And this was by radio news. Now, this was posted on my son's birthday about, let's see, he would have been, I think, 30 or something when this was posted. So there's that. let's see. Yeah, this is what finally, it stuck like this where I said, all right, I'm done. Because this, I got to the point where I couldn't take this anymore. You see stuff like this, and now this one was put up on August 7th, and my son, this is August 7th, 2012, and my wife had died suddenly, and this is what this woman put up about my wife. Never mind the fact that when his wife dropped dead, I'm told, he was back online within a few hours saying, quote, she was lying on the floor like a piece of meat. No, never said that. Heartless fucking bastard. Someone should look into her death too and dig up that backyard of his. Bet they would find more than dirt and roots. This is how personal it got. Tim Holseth probably would use this as a weapon against me. And of course, this is another one that got put up. Let me. Yeah, Tim Holmses likes to complain about his family being harassed, and he forgets what I went through. Tim knows all about this stuff because he went through it. And it's he apparently does not know what it's like to outlive your child. It's one of those things that doesn't go away, and when stuff like this comes up, um, about your son, but radio news put this up. All right, I gotta go do something so you guys can look at that for a minute. Okay, what am I missing here? Oh, the Turd Force came back under identity theft of all things. Well, the pitiful pedophile Turd Force ain't gonna find nothing because the business is closed. It was put out of business by turds like you. So interesting. Yeah, people can't come in under their own username. They got to impersonate people. What cowards! What a coward! What did this one show up? I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Huh. But let's see what it. Huh. But that's all right. This people can read about this. No, I did not, Julia. Why can't you come in under your own name? Why do you have to keep making all these different names up? Angel, I did not want to marry Angel in Florida. Um, so, but you know, you're doing the same thing you did last night. So what can I say? Well, they don't have respect, Alexander. I mean, Tim Holmseth is going after the dead father of somebody because you know that's just what Timmy is. Yeah, it's nobody's off limits to these people. Sad, really. I wish I could change that header picture on that thing because it's for some reason I can't get the header picture to change on there. I gotta work on that. Yeah, it's funny. These people say they believe in God, and you kind of wonder, looking at these people, why, the people that believe in God, in most cases, are the evil ones. Trying to figure out where this one was. I mean, it's people like Tim Holmes that made me understand that uh, people that claim that they believe in God don't. It's just the proof is in his actions. Nope, that's not going to do what I want to do. Oh, here we go. Maybe I'll find it this way. See what this is. What about the park bench? Matter of fact, Alex is in here. She could tell you about the park bench. Just so people understand what this park bench business is all about. Back in the Kaylee Anthony days, the people that were in my chat group wanted to figure out a way to memorialize Kaylee Anthony. And what we did is I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you what, guys. There is a bench that I have of my son in Mount Dora, or in Eustis, Florida, where I live. And my wife and I had put a bench up under the lighthouse up there, and the trying to find, of course, and I go on YouTube and I get all my cousins' pictures. I had a rather famous cousin who my son was named after. So let me find it this way. Oh, Turd Force is back. We're having a bit of a gang gaslighting going on here tonight. See if I can find it on here. I may have put it on this one. Okay, let me see. Maybe that's on the other one. See if it's, yeah. Alright. I gotta try and this damn thing doesn't give me a try to figure out where that picture is. Do, 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 do. I'll let you guys argue with each other here for a minute. I tried to tell people way back when who created all this shit they need to take it down because of what's been going on. And now they've left all this crap up for Timothy and his stalkers to take advantage of. Here we go. Okay, I found the picture that I wanted to find. And this is also now. This is probably one of the more famous posts by radio. Let me add it in here. And that's coincides with those other two pictures. Going to now this one here went up in 31st of March 2013. Now what's significant about this, and this is the radio like to time things, my son's birthday was on April 2nd. So she decided 3 days before the anniversary of my son's birthday to put up this post. And it reads, Mert Witness 1, let me close with this. You speak of a son, but everyone knows he could not have been yours. Deal with that. Radio, of course, never explained that. Now notice this is the same thing that Turd Force does, is they make this stuff up. You know, if you look at the way that radio does these posts, and then look at what Turd Force has been putting up. Same MO. They put these accusations up, and they don't care the fact that I outlived my son, and that this is a kind of a pain that does not go away. Turd Force and radio apparently have never outlived their child, so they don't know what it's like to have that happen. You know, these are heartless sociopaths. Now, Well, I'm just going to leave that up there for a minute because I gotta add another image here since. Okay, we do this and we browse. Okay, you want to talk about a bench, Turd Force? We'll talk about a bench. And Alex is in here, so she knows full well the story behind this one. Okay. Now again, this is the son that radio says was not mine. My wife and I went up to a park up in um, where I used to live in Eustis. They have this, we call it Lighthouse Park. They have a big lighthouse, and they have these benches all through this park. And for $500, you can buy a memorial bench. And so we had gotten one of these benches. Actually, the people where Kathy used to work donated the funds for this bench, and they had the bench put up at Lighthouse Park. Now, in my live stream, I had mentioned this to my people and my fans in there. And again, we were trying to figure out how to memorialize Kaylee Anthony because a lot of people were doing stuff for Kaylee Anthony back then. There was a guy up in Leesburg that had a stone wall, had her name on it. People all over the country were making these little memorials for Kaylee Anthony. And so the group in the room wanted to do that. Alex, that's my son's memorial bench. Remember, or I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, yeah, that's something else that my haters did. They put up a fake thing at the dirty. Anybody that knows anything about the internet knows about the dirty. Anyway, getting back to the subject, since Turd Force seems to want to ignore this, my followers in the chat room that I had back then wanted to have some kind of memorial for John or for Kaylee, and so I mentioned this bench. I says, well, what I can do is I can go up to the city, to the division that decides on these benches, and I can ask them the procedure. So I went up to town hall, talked to the man that's in charge of placement, told him what I wanted to do, and he said that's perfectly fine. He gave me the application, and so the commission had pre-approved the bench. I went on. I said, okay, they approved the bench. This is what they need. I said, send the funds directly to the commission. Don't send them to me, send them to the commission. I gave them the address and everything. So all the donations were sent. I set an initial deadline for the funding being there. We got to the first deadline. There wasn't quite enough money raised. So I said, I'll give it another 2 weeks and then I'll refund all the money. And so it went on, and I got it a little bit closer. So I said, all right, we're at $350. I will put in the extra $150 and we'll order the bench. So I took the money up. I gave them my check. I said, go ahead with the order. And so everything was supposed to be going for the bench. Much to my surprise, a group of bloggers decided that it wasn't a good idea to have a bench in memory of Kaylee Anthony in that park. And they vehemently lobbied the commission in charge of approving the benches not to put up the bench. And so the commission had a meeting and decided, because of all the controversy, they revoked the approval for the bench. And they said, we can't put up the bench. There's just too much going on. We got all these people complaining about this thing, and with all this business going on with the Casey Anthony case, we just can't do it. And so they gave me all the money back. And so I informed the room of what happened. I said, look, they gave all the money back for this bench. I'm going to have to refund you people all their money. And the people said, no, we don't want to do that. And I said, well, what are we going to do? And I said, because you sent this money to the park commission, so now, I can't use the checks because they're made to the park commission. And so basically what I did is, those who wrote checks, I sent the checks back to the people. Once they got the checks, they turned around and sent me the money back. Because what we decided to do, with a vote and everything, all but 2 people decided to give the money to Texas EquiSearch to assist in helping for the search of Haley Cummings. And so once we got all that straightened down, and again, they were short the $500, so I kept my $150 in there, plus the money I had to make up, because one woman decided she wanted the money to be given to someone in Florida that rescues dogs, so I did that for her. And another guy decided he just wanted his money back, so I refunded his money. And so with the approval of everybody in the room, I went up to Palatka, donated the money to Texas EquiSearch. And there is a letter that was sent to me from Texas EquiSearch thanking me for the donation. So I have proof that the money was donated to Texas EquiSearch. And the proof is there. It's documented. You can even write. Someone even wrote to Texas EquiSearch and scolded them for taking the money, which I can't fathom that. Why would anybody write to Texas EquiSearch and scold them for taking money that's supposed to be used to help search for a lost girl? But, this is the kind of people I was dealing with back then. And, the woman that's represented Texas EquiSearch is quite angry about it. And again, to help look for any lost children. Because this actions like this infuriated them. There was a big circus going on. So this is what I had to put up with. And I, Turd Force, I really, I don't care what you think anymore. You're hooked up with a pervert, so you must be a pervert yourself. I don't care anymore, because, there's nothing that can be done. As much proof as I give, it doesn't matter, because I'm destroyed. Tim Holmseth has made sure that I'm destroyed. I can never recover from this. So, there you go. That's funny though. Instead of paying attention to what I'm telling Turd Force, she's in an argument with Alex. Interesting. This shows you, Turd Force doesn't want the proof. Instead of paying attention to what I'm telling her, she's sitting here getting into an argument. But I'm going to sit back and watch all this arguing going on. He's bigger. Who is bigger? I'll tell you right now, Field is not fat. Yeah, he's lost about 70 pounds. Yeah, you can go over and look at his profile on the Broward County arrest, and it shows that he has lost quite a bit of weight. They weigh him when they bring him in. What about my business in Palatka? There, where is? Ask away. What do you want to know about it? Yeah, what do you want to know? Ask. Other than it's out of business. It was. I've talked about the dealership before. So what do you need to know? It was had three business models. The first model was a retail business that was run by my senior partner. The second was a commercial vehicle leasing service. This is where I used to lease out my live trucks and billboard trucks. And then the third division of my company was antique and special interest cars. I was a broker for people that wanted to buy and sell collectible cars, both antique cars and all that. So there you go. That's my business. It was located in Palatka, Florida. It is now closed. The retail business is gone. No, no, it was a dealership. It was a ordinary dealership. It's how I made a living until people like Angel in Florida put me out of business. And because of people like you and the haters out there, I am on Social Security. I cannot make a living. You know, Tim Holmseth makes more money than I do with his scamming of people. Because I don't make any money. I survive on Social Security. That's it. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that's funny. Tim has been doing the TikTok thing since 2009. Interesting. Yeah, task force is such a coward they won't give their real name out. Yeah, that's funny. Alexandra is in here under her own name. Task force and this other weirdo are in there under their fake usernames. Says a lot. Yeah, they sure did. I gave you the proof. The proof is right there. Well, of course you don't want to believe it. But you continue it. Tim Holmseth did it today. Same lies. Put up the content by the people that put me. Yeah, yeah, you heard. You heard. Alexandra can tell you all about me and Angel if she wanted to. But that's up to Alex. You know, Angel in Florida is a woman that wanted to make money off a dead child. And when I refused, she turned on me. Just told you. Angel in Florida was some woman from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, as a matter of fact. Wanted to write a book about the Haley Cumming or Casey Anthony case. And then when the book was published, she wanted to go on a cruise and um, she wanted to go on a cruise, promote the book, make these little presentations on the cruise ship, and charge people to come to these uh, presentations. And she offered to take me along, and I refused. I said, no, I want any part of it. And she turned against me because of that. So, yeah, I'd probably go up there and piss on it. I had a woman tell me she'd piss on my grave when I died, so I'll go up and piss on Timmy's. He'll probably outlive me anyway. I'm in the age group to where I'll probably catch this stupid virus, and that'll make everybody happy. As I was flying all over the all over the United States, right in the middle of this thing, so I probably will wind up catching the virus and die, and that'll make everybody happy. Yeah, she was. She paid the ultimate price. He's pushing up Daisy somewhere because yeah, he was just like Tim Holmseth. Those two could have been married. I didn't know you'd have to ask her fiance. Angel was living with somebody at the time. I never met Angel, and I can tell you she's no angel. I doubt they understand. Well, I love cat fights. They get real interesting. Ooh, we're getting rough. My. Well, Julia, I hope so. That woman deserves to rot in hell. I don't care. Well, 2 hours since Tin Hat did anything. Puts up these weird charts. So there's 2 hours away on that. Probably in here arguing with everybody. Yosemite. Of course, another earthquake, another tunnel gone. God, people are stupid. That's not a 5G tower, but that's fine. Here we go. Somebody's been doing Photoshop again. People love Photoshop. QAnon garbage. Ooh, the Great Awakening. It's funny how nothing has come true with this QAnon crap. Bunch of retards. Hmm. Oh well. Well, it's funny, Julie, that you're doing that because Tim Holmes says is using material generated by Angel. I think that's interesting. Yeah, Timmy's probably too busy cross-dressing his son again. Who went to North Dakota? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, is there a law against traveling? I thought Soviet citizens believed in traveling, free travel, and all that. As I recall, they weren't sneaking. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's funny. We've got two people in here afraid to put up their real names. I wonder why that is. Yeah, why are these two trolls not wanting to put up their real name? Interesting. Yeah, he probably passed out. Either that or he's pud pounding again. What is this? Well, you're the one that's scared. You don't put your name out there. Yeah. Yeah, somebody get pictures of that billboard. I want to see that. It reminds me of the days of the other billboard. Go ahead and investigate it. Somebody actually put the address of the business up in my comments, and I didn't take it down, so the address is there. You're gonna have an interesting time because the business doesn't exist. You know, I've been out of business in that city for years now. But investigate to your heart's content. I don't care. Yes, I have. So what? Mm-hmm. Boy, we're all over the board tonight. It's amazing. I don't know what any of this has to do with rescuing children, but that's fine. I pay for myself to go. It's called frequent flyer miles. Alexander Goddard, fought against rape, which is something Tim hasn't done. I paid. Well, what do you mean, how is Alex? I did. I was there for an hour, did an interview, and I left. I was there to do an interview. In case you don't know, have you ever seen the movie Roll Red Roll? tells you all about what was going on. There was a big case in Steubenville, Ohio, and Alex was responsible in large part for the convictions of 2 alleged rapists, something that Timmy hasn't even come close to doing. Alex actually did something. No, she fought against it through the legal system and won. Watch the movie Roll Red Roll. You might learn something. Timmy's jealous because of the Roll Red Roll. I'm trying to. Did it again. Hope I don't get a strike for this, but let's see.
There's pressure to get these kids guilty. Even if they're guilty, they'll blame that they didn't do this and that. I hope, that the truth comes out.
When I first read the story, there wasn't a lot of substance to the article. 2 high school football players had been charged, just a couple of paragraphs about these 2 boys, and that was it. I thought, this is nuts because that town is so entrenched in their football team. This is big news. So that's when I started snooping around.
I had never seen a case constructed like this. that many people who have some information.
This was a sexual assault with teenagers, and the cell phones told the story. We had photos. We had 400,000 text messages.
It was on Twitter, actually. Just the complete lack of empathy. That was what was so frightening. I mean, it was all out there.
I just didn't understand it at all because I don't think it's something that doesn't occur in other cities and states and counties all over.
If teachers knew about it, if coaches knew about it, if a principal knew about it, if parents knew about it, why was nothing done about that?
The question was, is this football town, putting its daughters at risk by protecting its sons in a situation like this?
Okay, Julie, so you are what would probably be described as a rape apologist. Have you seen the film by any chance? I'd just be curious. It's funny. Basically what it is you and Turd Force are jealous because Alex did something that Tim Holmseth is not capable of doing. She made a difference. She showed you what a true journalist is. And you can't accept that. That's sad, really. So Julie Tremp is saying it is okay for football players to have sex with underage girls, to gang rape an underage girl. That's interesting. That underage girls don't have any rights because of people like these two. Oh, here we go with the fake news. When you guys get backed into a corner and you can't defend yourselves, fake news, fake news. Well, you should know because Tim Holmseth is the king of fake news. That's all Tim is fake news. So fine. Sit there and let's see. Any of you two got daughters in high school? Would you mind if a football player got her drunk, took her down in the cellar, pulled her pants down, and stuck their finger up their twat? That seems to be what you want. I mean, I guess it's okay to do that. Friends of Tim Holmes says, okay, take a 15-year-old girl, pull her pants down, and stick it in there. Whereas who? I don't mind other people's business. I don't know where these people are. Ask them yourself. Bolo for what? You're sitting there stealing the woman's identity. What's with you people? You sit there, you can't even use your own name. Yeah, did you notice the little thing down there that says for adults only? You've been here enough to know that if I want to fucking swear in this room, I will fucking swear in this room. If you don't like it, there's a little X up there. You can leave anytime you want. So, that's up to you. You haven't, Tim Holmseth has used the F word. Have you heard some of his videos? So, don't do this bullshit with the vulgarity, because Tim Holmseth has used it himself. He used it in his book, and he's used it on his videos. And he hasn't even gone through the trouble of age restricting those videos. He's put those videos out there so any kid at any age on Facebook could see them. So there's your vulgarity. Next. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Well, if I want to watch my goddamn mouth, I'd have to turn on my goddamn monitor because I don't have my goddamn monitor on right now. And again, this goddamn room is age restricted. I am the owner of this goddamn room. And if I want to use goddamn vulgarity language, I will goddamn use vulgarity language. No, I will not goddamn stop. You just use vulgarity. Goddamn is a vulgarity. You used it. It's using the Lord's name in vain, isn't it? Goddamn, goddamn, goddamn. There you go. No, I'm not frustrated. I'm having fun. No, these people are just, they're hypocrites. I'm not flustered. You come in here, you use vulgarity, and then you tell me I'm not supposed to use it. This is my channel. I can do what I damn well please with it. I mean, you people came in here. I didn't tell you to come in here. Jeez. I love it. Do. I'm actually running over tonight. I'm getting a kick out of this one. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Nope. Not flustered a bit. Where's that screenshot, Turd Force? Nope, not mad at all. Not one bit. I'm enjoying this. You guys are the ones, that are frustrated. Not sure what you're trying to do here, but yeah, what the hell. Trolls of no substance. Challenges are put to you and you deflect. Tim does the same thing. I get a death threat. Tim blocks me from his Facebook because it was one of his followers that gave me the death threat. Rather strange. Turd Force said that they had a screenshot of me. No. How do you know? Just because she's not posting? I don't know what, Unlike you two, Alex has a life. I don't, people pay attention to the stupidest shit, I swear. Well. The Juan Cat thing. Okay, that's what that was. This thing keeps doing that. Huh. These people amaze me. Okay, has this got music?
And that brings me back to the story.
Yeah, it's got... Alright, let me know. I'll cover the case. Be sure to send me a link of the arrest and the mud chat and all that, and I'll cover it. Now, next week, this is the 12th, so we've got until the 13th, about the 15th, 16th of April. So, all right, we'll see. We'll see what happens on the Sa-Turd-Ay Murtathon next week. Nah, I just thought you guys are so stupid. I get the biggest kick because now, see, this is all in the chat is on record, so. Well, what I find interesting is they can't even use their real names. I gotta they got to slander a woman's name, which really... I got to see if there's music in here. Let's see. Yep, I can't use that. It's got music in it. Oh well. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Oh. Yeah, it got quiet all of a sudden. Nope, nothing going on there. And nothing much going on there, so it's kind of like a... Everybody got quiet all of a sudden. Well, I suppose, since everybody's hit the mute button here, gonna do one more. Nope. All done. All right. Okay, I'm going to do the closing a little different tonight. Hopefully I will get some stuff done tomorrow here. Yep. Alrighty. Alright, everybody, I guess it's that time. Been kind of interesting, all these trolls coming in here. Hi, Levi. Don't know how long you've been in here, but it's been kind of an interesting night. And you come in just about the time I was going to close down. Yeah, hey, watch the recording. You'll have a kick out of this. Hopefully you've got something to watch now where you get the chat, because you got to have something where you can see the chat. I noticed that on my big set in the bedroom, the chat doesn't show up. Yeah. Yeah, Paige, it's the usual crap. You know, that's one of these things. Yeah, like I said, I aptly named the chat tonight because I knew that the turds would be coming in, and sure enough, they came in, two of them. Either that or one person running the same thing with two different names. Oh, I just look at it as it's collective stupid, and it's actually, it's foundational evidence. It's there if needed. If there's ever a legal action, these posts are up there. Because now they've whoever put this one up here is, you know, identity theft. I mean, curious about something. But, you know, go through the recording and the chat and everything. It's really quite interesting. But they were mainly going after me. They were going after Alex. Well, yeah, they need something because, you know, they should have coded Tim Holmesov a long time ago and all these QAnons. I mean, these are absolutely the stupidest people I've ever seen on the internet. You know what's funny is it's getting difficult to talk about things on here anymore. Other than these two actually come in and they give me something to talk about because I sit there and I watch these little chats, and you know they're inconsistent to some of the stuff that they do. It's really weird, but you know what can I say? And they got mad at Alex because she defended a 15-year-old against rape. You know, I thought that was kind of strange that, you know, here's a woman that actually went out and did something. Oh, hi. Oh, watch yourself. All right, come on up. I'll put you on camera again. Yeah. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus, Amber. Sitting there, I want to get the dog on camera, and she won't let me get to the computer. Oh, Amber. Settle down. Just a minute. Jesus Christ. This dog is a trip. All right. And no, not quite ready. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Better late than never. You're my cute, Amber. Yes, you are. Yeah. Yeah, good girl. Yep, this is Amber. Help, I'm being attacked. Help. Yeah, you knocked my headphone off, dog. Jeez. Oh, jeez. God dang. Yeah, see? Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Well, that's true. They can't. I hope the heck you can hear me. The darn Amber's going crazy here. She miss her daddy. All right, you gonna let me put my headphone back on? This is kind of silly. Oh, this is all messed up now. Look at that. Look at what you did. Whew, my God. Well, that's. Hey, Yes. There she is. Yeah, look at that tail. Man. That's just a wagging away. Let me. There. Itchy. She likes her. Say that. This is how you make friends with a dog. You scratch their back. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you stole the show, Amber. All right, Amber. I gotta close the show out, so you might as well go down. Look out for the headphone. Oop. There you go. Good girl. Okay. Dang, dog. That dog's a trip, man, I'll tell you. Wonder why it's doing that. Oh, I know what it is. No, I don't want that. We want flag. Back this up. Got this. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, no, man, a man of Shivets. As Nancy would say. Whew. That dog's a lot of hard work, you know? But that's Amber. She's what they call a long-haired dachshund mix. I don't know what she's mixed with. But for a 7 going on 8-year-old dog, that is the most lively thing I've ever had. Yeah, actually it's 3 hours and 45 minutes, and kind of takes me back to the days when I live streamed on Pal Talk. It was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Of course, I had other people running the show when I wasn't around, which obviously wasn't a bright idea. But, yep, it's time for me to log off, guys. And, you know, I'd like to thank everybody for coming in. And I'll be back tomorrow night for the Sunday Murtathon. And so this is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Have a good one.